Hello traders, Greg here with a market update. Okay, so 2026 is certainly starting off as bullish. We've got some bull markets to start the year. But look, the most action, no surprise, obviously is precious metals. Look, gold and silver, they got a kickstart over the weekend, obviously with what happened in Venezuela and bringing some geopolitical issues back into play, and so yes, the buyers stepped in straight away on the open on Monday and bought gold and silver. And what did they do yesterday? They just continued to buy it like crazy. So we do have silver closing up a whopping 6%. Gold is up 1% as well, but gold's been up about $130 to start the week, and it's pressing 4,500 again. And silver is above 80 bucks, at 81, it's almost done $10 this week. Absolutely phenomenal moves. A lot of traders, if they got long gold and silver on the open, they could almost pack it up for 2026 and say that was a fantastic year already. These are huge moves. Silver is now almost doing 5% moves on a daily basis. Look, the record high for silver is obviously $84, which was made towards the end of last year, and gold, $45.50. Could we see new record prices? You can see them today, the way these things are trading. Yes, look, certainly huge bull market. The further out though, look, silver bulls certainly think that $100 is realistic. So there you go. I would not be fading any of these moves at the moment. In the equity space, yes, US equities, S&P, NASDAQ have had a decent start for the year, a couple of positive days, and S&P has already made a new record high in the first week of trading. So there you go, bull market. Equities need to be scared of something, and at the moment they certainly are not scared of anything. So it would I'd imagine that would continue to see this grind higher. Nasdaq has not made new record highs, so it's sort of lagging a little bit from what S&P is doing. So maybe a bit of catch up there. Look, even crypto has joined the party. Obviously last year, Bitcoin actually had a negative year. It was down 6% for the year. But look, the crypto space has come back to life. We've got Bitcoin basically pressing back towards 95,000 at the moment. Altcoins have had a very good rally as well. I've had some news this week that PwC, one of the big top 4 accounting firms, looks like that they're preparing for their institutional clients and more adoption of crypto, which is a big positive. With crypto being now more regulated, etc. So yes, some positive fundamental news there. Look, Bitcoin clears 95,000, which has sort of kept it down for the last month or so. That would be positive for a run to 100,000, and then obviously that big psychological level, if we get above that, it's going to start to look very good again. And we do know that when crypto does start to rally, it can do some decent work. So certainly that space is heating up at the moment. In the currency space, Aussie dollar, it has hit a 1-year high, pushing up towards 67.50. It's a risk currency. Obviously, risk is doing well. Bull market, S&P, new record highs, etc. Also commodity currency, obviously what's happening there. So it's got some decent tailwinds. It is an important day today in Oz. We do have Aussie CPI. Last CPI, monthly CPI, inflation ticked up to 3.8%, not good. This month, markets forecast maybe slightly lower to 3.7. But the focus is on the RBA trim mean, and that came in last month at around about 3.3%. The next RBA meeting is in the first week of Feb, 3rd of Feb. So certainly if we stay at these elevated levels, and God help us if we actually come in above expectations, the market is going to be looking for a hike to start the year. No other central banks except the Bank of Japan are hiking rates. They're either on hold or still have an easing bias. So that is pretty significant if the RBA does hike. It is going to be a tailwind for the Aussie. Look, one of the things I've said is I think the Aussie could be a standout this year long, and obviously, the sort of near-term targets maybe 70 cents at some stage. So yes, Aussie's looking in the box seat at the moment, but inflation numbers today important, and obviously if they come out punchy, it won't be good for the ASX. Other than that, we've got some ADP employment report in the US today. That's important because we've got payrolls on Friday. Market's expecting plus 45,000 there. So a positive number. Obviously, if it comes in above expectations, we're probably start at the moment. There's only a 20% chance the market's priced in for a Fed cut in January at the end of this month. But obviously, if it comes in well below expectations, maybe the probability ratchets up a bit. But really, realistically, the market's looking at potentially the first cut for the Fed might be in March, the first live meeting. But anyway, look, we've got some data coming up today and at the end of the week, so we've got a lot happening. Good luck with your trades, and check back in with you shortly.